December 5th, 2005.
West Coast, the East Coast, and the South Middle Coast. Is that what we can call it?
You're in charge of late. Call it anything you like.
All right. That sounds great. Well, we've got a small group on the call tonight, and if it's okay with y'all, I'm not going to mute the call out. Is anybody on the call a new distributor or a prospect or somebody looking at Lifewave? We're all distributors?
You got it.
Okay. Let's make this a productive call. How about that, guys?
You got it.
Okay. Well, I would normally do my normal intro, and since there's no prospects on the line, don't take that time. Let's talk about how we're going to spread Lifewave to the world. What do you say?
Sounds wonderful.
Okay. I'm going to tell y'all my experience, and I don't know if y'all have heard me say this on a call before, but since you're all distributors, I guess I can say pretty much what I want. And I didn't say it. Nobody's recording this, right?
That's correct.
I've got about 10 years clinical background working for MDs and acupuncturists and real weird scientists and wonderful people like Dr. Holzwanger, and I've just been so blessed being able to see energy medicine come to the forefront in the medical arena. And I had the opportunity to run the alternative medicine division for a very progressive MD here in Houston. And during the years, I actually got to train on tons of, not tons, but quite a bit of energy diagnostic equipment. And I am a Computron tech, and I do GDVs, which is full body Kirlian. And in the PowerPoint presentation, you know the picture that has the blue fields around the body? Are y'all familiar with that?
Yes.
That's a GDV. It's like full body aura, but actually over in Europe, in several countries, it's accepted as a medical diagnostic device. And then there's Voice Bio, there's RJL, I could go on, but lots of really fun equipment. So I get to do the testing, and then I turn it over to the docs and let them look at it and hear what they have to say about it. And when I was working for Dr. Kern, she actually sent me a autistic child to test right after I got the patches. You know, spirit works in miracle ways, and I tested this little kiddo, and I had never tested an autistic child before, and all of his readings were off the scale. The implications were that he had inflammation all over his body, but he didn't. And he had no inflammatory symptoms whatsoever. So I was kind of stumped, and his mom had him on homeopathic heavy metal detox since age 2.5, had him on a good diet, had him on a good vitamin and mineral and supplement protocol. I didn't know what to tell her. And the child could not sit still. I mean, we hear about hyperactive kids, right? You know, and they're busy. This child was jerking, constantly moving. Every time I touched him with the probe, which does not hurt, he would jerk. So I just asked, please help me. If I'm supposed to help this kid, what am I supposed to do? And I got the impression I was supposed to use patches. Well, guys, I got to tell you, why in the world would you put energy patches on a kid that can't sit still? That was my first thought. But when I get it, that kind of information, I do it. And I had patches in my hand, and I didn't know where to put them. And I put them on his liver points. Do y'all know where the points are? Hello? Y'all there?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
On top of the foot, on the arm?
On top of the feet.
Okay.
I think that's liver 1. Okay. And I retested him immediately. And first of all, when I put the patches on him, he sat back in his chair. He quit jerking, and he put his hand up on the table. And when I retested him, he never jerked once. All of his readings fell to normal. Immediately. And his mother was really freaking out on me, and she's like, what's going on? And I said, I don't know what's going on. I didn't know what was going on. Now, from what I understand, I can't say the him what happened, and he said, well, it made perfect sense to him because in some cases, what we have seen is a calming. How many of you have gotten attitude adjustment testimonials? Have you gotten any?
No.
Okay, a lot of people will call and just say they're in a better mood. Okay? That's sympathetic nervous system. Well, he said that these kids, it's like their sympathetic nervous system is totally raw. They're sensitive to sound, taste, touch, light, everything. And he thinks that that might be what's going on. And all I can say is, I can't, make any claims here, but if you know anyone that's in that situation, just put some patches on their liver points on their feet and sit back and watch what happens.
So that is between the great and second toe.
Up on the top of the foot.
Right. Okay.
And it's a great spot because they're very sensitive to things on their body, and they tend to pull them off. But if they're in their shoes, hello? If they're in their shoes, then they don't mess with them. Okay?
Well, absolutely wonderful.
So what we're talking about is results here. Now, last Saturday, I was at a weightlifting contest with Tiny Meeker. And Tiny Meeker is on the archive page of the website. And he probably is the strongest drug-free man in the world. And he takes a drug test before every weightlift. And he went for 906 pounds on a bench press. Does that mean anything to anybody?
That's a lot.
What is that, like a half a ton or something?
Well, I can let the guy have a finger,
I have watched him lift that once before, but these guys wear what's called a lift shirt. And the shirt is so tight, it actually helps them rebound the weight. And the first time he lifted it in Louisiana, he blew his shirt out. And Saturday, he blew 2 shirts out. Now, these are like $250 shirts. But I promise you guys, if he can get a shirt that'll hold up, this man is going to lift 906 pounds, and he'll tell you to your face it's because of Lifewave. Have any of you ever been to a gym where people are lifting or gotten them on lifters, gotten the patches on lifters?
I use them myself when I work out.
Okay. Have you tested anybody with them?
Yeah, I've tested my son, yes.
Okay. Are y'all familiar with the tip, turn, and push test?
Yes.
Is anybody not familiar with the tip, turn, and push test? Okay, good. When I was at the meet, Tiny was saying, you need to go talk to Patty, because he was wearing patches and everybody was asking him what they were. And all I did was just tip them. And they couldn't believe it. If you can get your hands on somebody, and I'll tell you something that I do. When I go to the mall, or I go to Sam's, or I go shopping, and I've had time to put on my makeup, put on nice clothes, and, I'm ready to go, I wear the patches on the outside of my shirt. So, I can't tell you how many people stop me and ask me what they are. And I tell them it's nanotechnology for energy and stamina. And they say, what? And I'll just say, it's kind of hard to explain, but I can show you. Can I show you? And they say, yes. And if you can do a demo in Sam's, you're going to have a crowd around you. And that's the easiest way I have found to get interest in the product. Because people, if you try to tell them about it, a lot of people don't get it. You realize this is a totally new industry. We don't have a new product here. We have a new industry. So it's up to us to educate the people on exactly how it works and how fast it works.
Patty?
Mm-hmm.
You wear that up on the lung point?
Yes.
Okay.
On the outside of my shirt. And I try to wear black.
Why not?
A lot of good contrast.
And it really shows up. body to work. And they don't even know what to ask. You know, they're just like looking at you real funny. You know, want to try it? And I'd literally peel them off my shirt and stick them on top of their shoes and tip them right there. And 1 out of 10 is going to go, holy cow. And I'll say, do you know anybody that works out? Do you know anybody, you know, that has joint pain? Sometimes we get amazing results.
Well, thank you for one thing, Patty.
What?
I got a black Lifewave shirt. I never thought about that, but next time I go out, I'm just putting the patches on the outside of my shirt.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, these calls are really important. It's funny. You can go on, and every time I learn something on a call.
Yeah, I do too.
I can tell you, today I had the distinction of Ron Moorfield calling me. And I've had a nice conversation with him. I'd like to give you a little information what he gave me.
Please, share.
Well, 2 weeks ago, we had a meeting in San Jose with David and Dr. Holmwinger, and it was great. And that night, going home from San Jose, I'm about 2 hours from San Jose. Well, I started feeling rough, and by golly, I'm telling you, I ended up with a sore throat, and boy, I had a cold. I said, holy mackerel, here's coming Thanksgiving, I'm going to be sick.
Oh, no.
And so what did I do? I said, well, I'm going to have to go get some Thermoflu and some stuff, you know. And I said, well, no, maybe I'll try the patches. And I don't know how I lucked out, but I went ahead and I put the patches up on the lung points, and on the shoulders. And anyway, the next day, my sore throat was gone, and my cold was gone. So I was telling that to Ron today on the phone, and he asked me, he says, boy, where did they put the patches? I said, well, up on the lung. He says, boy, you put them in the right place. He told me that with Chinese medicine, if you feel like you're getting a cold, go ahead and patch yourself up there on the lung points, and you can prevent your cold.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, do y'all understand why that works?
Why don't you tell us more, Patty?
Whatever meridian you put the patches on, it's going to energize that meridian. Now, Ron's book is fixing to come out, and Chinese medicine is a lot more complicated than just meridians. I mean, there's wood and water and air and fire and all that kind of stuff. And he'll explain more, like if you have an inflamed fire meridian, then if you put patches on the kidney meridian, that's the water meridian, and it'll calm the fire. And, you know, there's ways to use them like that. But what you're doing is you're energizing a very specific system to counteract whatever you're working with. And his book, guys, is going to be priceless. I mean, as far as using this technology, he spoke at the convention here in Houston, and it was amazing. I was really, really impressed. The doctor of Oriental medicine that I worked with didn't touch the work that Ron Moorfield had done. So we're really, really lucky to have that book coming out. And I honestly believe, and I'm sure all of you do too, that we have not even begun to tap, the uses of these things. I mean, it's incredible. And if you look at, have y'all seen a picture of David Schmidt in the original video that they did? And then compared it to, if you face-to-faced him lately, looked at him, and made a comparison of what he looked like then and what he looks like now?
Patty, was that the one that was done the evening that they did up in, I think it was up in San Jose in January?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's backing up.
Is he de-aging himself? Oh, well, wonderful for the rest of us. We don't mind following that example.
That's right. That's right. And, you know, we can't say the patches do that, but all I can say is if you use them on a regular basis and you really pay attention, it's kind of hard when you look in the mirror every day, but really pay attention. Compare some pictures of yourself. We're looking at probably the most profound health technology that's ever hit the planet. I mean, we are at the primal level. We are at the energy level, which is past the cellular level. So it's just, it's profound. I also wanted to mention, I don't know if I've ever mentioned on a call, I did have Mike Nicholas, one of my California distributors, on a call one night. I ought to just let him do a call. But Mike and his whole group are pretty much promoting the patches for raising the consciousness of the planet. And I'll tell you how they got there. If, let's say you're in a better mood, we'll just call it a better mood, okay, when you wear the patches, and that calms things like road rage, child abuse, all of that. Well, that's very low consciousness, okay, and anger begets anger. Can y'all go there with me? You understand, energy medicine's my deal, so I might get weird on you, okay? If you calm that, what's going to happen? It's going to raise consciousness. I mean, if I could slap patches on every person in this world that's a warmonger, if I could afford it, I'd do it. So, you know, even from that standpoint, this is a massive discovery. A massive discovery. Does anybody have any questions or in your Lifewave business that I might be able to help you with? I mean, we've got 4 distributors on the phone. Let's make use of this. I don't know that I have the answer, but someone else on the phone might. Wow, cool. No questions?
No, I think that, again, I think that the business is so very simple. We're introducing something marvelous, something unique, and yet if people give it some thought, I think that the rationality of what it is so simple and yet so very obvious that everything vibrates, and if everything is vibrating at its level of potential, then what you're talking about, people looking younger, feeling calm, being able to motivate themselves and have focus for their daily life, the outcome of that, if everything is in sync, is as it should be. And so finding something as incredible and yet simple at the same time as what David has discovered and been able to harness is absolutely phenomenal. And if we can get that across to people, again, not trying to cram anything down someone's throat or become so complicated when we present it that, people kind of turn away because they just can't get their hands on it.
Right.
But if it's presented simply, that there is just no way to stop what the universe itself sees as beneficial. So I think that's what we have. I think most of the people who have come into contact with it and taken a good look, begin to embrace that, and that's what we have.
I agree with you 100%. Are y'all aware of the profound benefits of the Okolani?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I talk Okolani right with the patches. That is so important, especially if people are into longevity, because, in Chinese medicine, when you age, you dry up. That's what causes wrinkles. That's what causes the shrinking, the organ shrinking, the cell shrinking. And Okolani is literally, I've worked with hydration products for I don't know how long. And actually one of David's favorite people, I worked with his products for a long time. And this just is way better than anything out there. If we could get people just to drink Okolani, if nothing else, they're going to see profound results. And the sleep patches are just, for the majority of the public that has a sleeping disorder, they're going to work. They're going to work. Nothing's perfect for everybody, but for the ones that it works on, you give somebody that can't sleep a good night's sleep, you have a lifetime customer. And they're happy about it. They're very happy about it.
Patty, how do you explain the subtlety of what's going on with the patches?
What I tell them is that it's just like if their body were doing it on its own, that's the effect. When you take a chemical, you feel the chemical because it's foreign to the body. Okay? In other words, everything is comparative. If you're in a dark room and you turn the light on, it's different. The patches literally have the body go through a very natural process. So you don't want them to feel anything. You want them to notice the difference. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for that way to approach this.
Right, and that's the best thing about it. You know, we don't want you to feel like you have a chemical in your body. People are so used to taking a chemical and going, you know, getting a buzz or whatever, and we know what they're doing to the body. Just look at the pharmaceutical ads on the TV. You know, take this drug and it'll do this, but, you know, the side effects might be, you know, you lose a leg, you lose your vision, you die. We're talking about negative. Oh, yeah. We're talking about a totally natural process here. It's just waking the body up. You want your body to behave the way it's supposed to behave? Use the patches.
All right, well, thanks for that.
You're welcome. Anybody else got something to add? I know you guys have got stories out there. A story?
Hi, this is Kathy from Melbourne, Florida.
Yes, Kathy.
Would you like to hear my story?
I would love to hear your story.
Okay. I am 76 years old. I'm a certified nutritional consultant. And I retired about a year and a half ago. Not because I wanted to, because I had to. I was in a wheelchair. I had neuropathy in my feet and tendonitis in both feet. And I was to the point where my daughter had to push me in a wheelchair to shop. And I even built a ramp on the front of my house, preparing to buy a mobility scooter.
Oh, man.
And I was in pain 24/7. And I couldn't sleep at night for the pain in my feet. And other than that, I'm perfectly healthy. And I take no prescriptions, don't believe in them, and hope I never have to take one. But a friend of mine in Fort Myers, Florida, cared enough about me to send me a sleeve of patches. She said, Kathy, it says nothing about pain, but what do you have to lose? I said, send them. I'll try them. And she mailed me the package. I read all the information. I immediately went to the website and read everything on the website. And I, too, have worked with energy, in the energy field for a long, long time.
Awesome.
And so, anyway, I was reading it and I was thinking, well, it was late afternoon when I received them. The next morning, I put the patch on the inside of my left ankle and on the right side of my right knee. And I hesitate to tell a customer this because they expect too much, but within 10 minutes, I started feeling a relief.
Wow.
The brain fog left, you know. And I've been sitting around so long that my muscles, you know, of course, were very weak.
Right.
And not being able to exercise or walk to any extent. And so the second day I wore the patches. I went for a walk. I shopped all over Super Walmart.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. And I have been walking ever since. I joined the gym, and I can exercise, and I'm trying to do that now a couple of times a week with no problems. And I thought, you know, I'm 76 years old. I haven't exercised in a long time here because I couldn't. And I just know I'm not going to be able to get out of bed the next morning the first time I went to the gym. I
amazing. I am so glad that this person loved you enough to give you those patches.
Oh, somebody said I should put her in my will.
That is just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
I didn't even tell her. I went online and joined the company, and then I called and told her.
Well,
she's my sponsor.
It's hearing stories like that's the reason I'm in this business.
I know, and me too. I swore I'd never do another business, but here I am.
Well, but when you can help people, you know, it makes everybody feel good.
That's my gift.
It makes everybody feel good. Well, I just want to thank y'all for being on the call, and Kathy, thank you so much for that testimonial. That's just amazing. And I hope I didn't disappoint anybody by not doing an opportunity call, but
I thought it was a wonderful call.
oh, thank you. Whenever I get a chance to, you know, let's talk about how we can share this. I use every chance I can get. And I want y'all to have a wonderful evening. And Portia Parker is going to be doing the late call tonight, and she is just awesome. And Kathy, if you don't mind, I'm going to give her your phone number.